All right. Excuse me. Let's get this queued up. Okay. And welcome back, everybody. Third Generation Wrestling Podcast, 3GW, your boy, Real Big E. Now, y'all know I had to come on and talk about this here. Wouldn't be wrestling if there was no controversy, right? Wouldn't be right. So, yeah, we are here. We're going to talk about Aew Dynamite card, match card, all that good stuff. 3-year anniversary. But we will get into the juicy stuff first because this gets getting out of control. Okay. This Andrade and Sammy Guevara situation out of control. It has gotten to the point of what happened tonight when in the main event. I mean, it's not the same as back in the day. When I say back in the day, I'm even talking like the 90s, where you didn't know what happened backstage until maybe the next day, maybe the next week, maybe months ago by. Now you find out stuff as it happens because that's the day and age we live in. So for Tony Khan to allow that match to still go on and the way it ended too, was CM Punk right? We'll get into it. So, at this article, this is from Cage Side Seats. Andrade reportedly sent home after backstage fight with Sammy Guevara. All right. Here we go. For the second time in a month, it seems a fight has broken out backstage between members of the AEW roster. TMZ is reporting that Andrade El Idolo was sent home from tonight's Dynamite in Washington, D.C. after getting into a fight with Sammy Guevara. This follows remarks Andrade made about previous backstage confrontation with Sammy Guevara, which prompted a heated Twitter exchange between the two. It also explains why El Idolo's scheduled match on this week's Rampage was canceled earlier tonight. It does not explain why Guevara is still wrestling in the main event on tonight's show, especially since TMZ is saying Sammy was the first to put his hands on Andrade. Sources tell us words were exchanged and then things turned physical. Sammy allegedly pushed Andrade and punches were thrown. According to our sources, it's unclear if anyone was hit. It's Sammy's second such incident in the last few months. Eddie Kingston was suspended for butting heads with Guevara in August. AEW has yet to comment on TMZ's report. Okay. Like I said, that was an article on Cage Side Seats, probably via TMZ. Okay. Now. Whose dick you sucking, Sammy Guevara? Okay. You get into it with all these people, yet they get suspended. You say all this reckless shit and do all this, and you come at people all the time. They get suspended. They get sent home. Their matches get canceled. And you just get to go on TV still, and go over. Somebody make it make sense. Because it don't. You just had a brawl after All Out with CM Punk, Young Bucks, Kenny Omega. I think FTR was involved in that too. And you sent all those guys except for FTR home. What's the difference? So I'm confused. this whole thing is this. It just reeks of unprofessionalism, and it all starts at the top. Anytime I said this, I say this all the time. Anytime a company, if you work at a job and things are unorganized, your managers are unorganized, your superior is unorganized, it's because the big boss is unorganized. It's because he don't know how to control his company. He don't know how to run his company. He don't know what the fuck he's doing. That's what we have here. I don't agree with what CM Punk did. I don't agree with how he um, went about saying what he had to say. I feel like he could have done it a different way and still got that message across. But at the end of the day, he was right. And the biggest child was sitting right next to him, allowing that shit to happen. Say what you want about Vince. I know you guys own stuff going on. That would have never happened under Vince McMahon because Vince McMahon ain't trying to be your damn friend. I'm your boss. And the optics, the time, the state of the world that we live in, you can't just get away with shit no more. And you're telling this man, who Sammy Guevara is a grown man, you're telling him that it doesn't matter what you do, doesn't matter what you say, you're good. And that is a bad precedent to set. He's worse. Sammy is worse than what Randy Orton was when he was young. And Randy Orton had a lot of problems. The difference, Randy had Rick, Randy had Triple H, and I'm pretty sure Randy had Vince to reel him in as best they could. At the very least, somebody to pull him aside and say, come here, man. You know, something. From what I can tell, Sammy's allowed to do whatever the hell he wants to do. The other thing, why would anybody with a brain in their right mind that's not already under contract, why would you want to go to AEW at this point? The honeymoon is clearly over. It's clear that the boss has no idea what he's doing. If you're a female wrestler, look at how they treated Thunder Rosa. Look at how they just treat people. If you're a favorite, you kiss Tony's ass, it seems like you get what you want. And I keep using certain verbiage, it seems, and that's how it looks. Because I don't work there. I'm not behind the scenes. I don't know all this stuff. But as somebody looking in, from the outside looking in, perspective, perception is reality. And I don't care if you're sent home, the person that was supposed to make you the most money in CM Punk, you could send home this jackass. Man, it's terrible. I guess we'll be talking more and more about this situation because it's not over. It's just getting started. And I'm going to be really keeping up with how this plays out because this is so this is beyond being unprofessional. This is beyond just, again, you don't want to sour people wanting to come to your company if this is how you treat people that come from outside companies. Nobody, to my knowledge, and I might be wrong here, but with Andrade being a WWE guy, with Miro being a WWE guy, Swerve and Keith Lee, it just seems like Tony's doing what Vince did when Vince got WCW, and he's just burying all, and Vince buried all the WCW guys. It seems like Tony's burying all the WWE guys he's brought over. I mean, Cody Rhodes got to be the smartest man in wrestling. He saw the writing on the wall and said, y'all can have it. I'm gone. I'm out. Do what you do. smartest man in the room. This whole situation is out of fucking control. And I really hope that Andrade gets his release. I've never seen such a mishandling of talent in the last year as I've seen in AEW. Period. Okay. Enough about that. Let's get on to the card. I did come into it just a tad bit late. When I get off work, it's kind of running right into 7:00. That's why I usually miss the beginning of Raw. I miss the beginning of SmackDown and Dynamite and all these things because that's usually my time I get off. So MJF versus Wheeler Yuta. They had a confrontation last week. This was a pretty good match. First thing I want to say, MJF has gotten in really good shape. I mean, he was never really looked bad, but he's definitely tightened up and put some size on him a little bit. So good on him. I don't know what's the deal with the faction. Lee Moriarty coming out looking like Cisco. Trying to get I kind of was in and out toward the end of this match. So I'm have to go off of Bleach Report here. Looks like yeah. So MJF was able to tap out Wheeler Yuta, and then after the match, Lee Moriarty jumped Yuta, breaking up an attempt to show respect. And yeah, so that's when I saw they got the ring, and MJF didn't really want to attack Wheeler Yuta, and then William Regal came out, and he brings out the notorious brass knucks. So yeah, so sorry about that. I was kind of in and out on that segment, but according to Bleacher Report, I'm going to read their review. As talented as Yuta is, he is not yet a star, no matter how hard AEW attempts to push him as one. He is clearly a step below MJF, and it showed late, hurting the drama they were hoping to build, as no one actually thought the former ROH Pure Champion had a chance in hell of beating the man poised to make a world title run in the coming weeks. That's true. That is true. All right. And then after that, got Darby Allin versus Jay Lethal. I did get the chance to check this match out. I was enjoying the match. I was. Until the way they decided to end this thing. Satnam Singh and Sanjay Dutt come out and just stand in the entrance ramp, which ends up distracting Jay Lethal, and Allen hits the Last Supper for the pinfall and the win. And I think that all this, every match does not need to have people running out, people getting involved. It takes away from the match. I don't even remember the match like I should. I like that roll up sequence they were doing. I liked a lot of the offense. I think these two could have, really just had a match and been done. Like there was no Sting ain't doing that. I like Darby hitting Scorpion Death Drop. That was nice. That was cool. He should have won. Darby should win. Jay Lethal. I think Jay Lethal has a pretty good role in one of the few people in AEW has a pretty good role. It comes out. He has good matches. Sometimes he wins. Sometimes he loses. But he needs to kick Satnam Singh and Sanjay Dutt to the side. He does not need them. This faction shit needs to stop in AEW. Stop putting everybody in factions. TNT Championship match. Wardlow versus the Machine. Brian Cage. Two of these big guys that AEW needs that like to between these two guys and Jake Hager and Luchasaurus. Those are kind of your big four. And they all move like cruiserweights. It's insane. Brian Cage to be that size and be able to do stuff that he does is crazy. Wardlow as well. I think Wardlow's got a height advantage just slightly, just ever so slightly. They did show a brief video package, which kind of really got me hyped. And I really didn't know how this would go. You bring a Brian Cage back, you're gonna have him lose right off the bat, but it's like it's too soon to take the title off Wardlow. And you're not gonna take it off of him. I surely hope you wouldn't take it off of him on the Dynamite episode. I thought that this was a decent big man match. Both, like I said, both show power, both show that they can do. They can move like cruiserweights, like I said, both doing Hurricane Ranas. But Wardlow being, much leaner, his offense looks way more smoother than Brian Cage. Like Brian, he's just so big. I mean, he had 6'1", 140. You had no business doing that shit. But that when Wardlow ran to the corner and jumped on the top rope and did a flip, oh man, dude he's still over. He's not white hot like he was, but the crowd still loves him. And I was just wondering, like, is he gonna be able to powerbomb Brian Cage? He is. He powerbombed him. Excuse me. 4 or 5 times. 2. I guess it was 4 because he powerbombed him twice. Did the motion, and then did the powerbomb, the roll through, and another powerbomb, and then he pinned him. And I don't know how I feel about that pin cover attempt to win, but yeah, right man won. I enjoyed the match. I'm enjoying Wardlow, and I don't know who's gonna be the one to knock him off, but this is how they need to book him, and they need to book him on the pay-per-views as the TNT champion, and have somebody and give him a feud, give him something to sink his teeth into, and build a story around him. Don't just keep shoving people in his face because we want to care about the guy. That's how he rose to being Wardlow. It may be hard to top that story he had with MJF, but that was pretty damn good. But at least give him something, because that's what's going to keep him interesting. And it's cool to see him come out and beat big guys like this, but, I think they need to give him something. I think him and Miro should have a series. Give Miro something to do. Okay. At the trios match, the women's trios match, Toni Storm, Athena, and Willow Nightingale versus Jamie Hayter, Serena D, and Penelope Ford. Yeah, you haters are going to hate. I'm a Jamie Hayter fan. Before the match, Britt Baker cut a promo on Saraya saying she's not coming here to wrestle. Everybody wants to know if she's coming to wrestle. She's not coming. She's not been cleared by the doctors. It's like, okay. We all did want to know, and none of us did know. So Britt Baker's in the corner of the heels, and Saraya's in the corner of the baby faces. It's tough to really gauge these women's matches, especially when you got this many going at it. Not the greatest outing by any other women for that matter. And then they have Willow Nightingale pick up the win. It just felt like, okay, we got to do something with the women, so let's just shuffle them all out there and give them their spot, and then that's going to be it. And all we're going to give our TBS champion, who who seems to be an afterthought as well. you get a backstage segment with Willow Nightingale later on, and you're gonna challenge her yet again, and nobody believes you. Willow's gonna beat. Um, Willow's not winning the TBS championship. Come on now, she's not beating Jade. Nobody. The only person. Well, if Saraya was gonna wrestle, I would say her, but I don't think she is. And then, but I would say Britt Baker. I could see a Serena D. I could even see Athena maybe one day dethroning Jade, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. They're counting her streak, so they're just giving her wins. Nah. But Saraya did get physical. After the match, there was a brawl. She got involved. It didn't look the best, but she did get physical. So we'll see. Oh yeah. Did y'all know? Because I didn't know. Today is a holiday. Today, one second, I got to pull this up right quick. Oh man. Today is National Scissoring Day. Yes, sir. The Acclaimed come out, and this is kind of a what do they call it when the president comes out? Kind of addressing the people, and I like what they did here. I like that they made this more so about accepting one another, and that's how we should be. We should just take time sometimes and just be human beings and not worry about red state, blue state, sexuality, sexual orientation, um, you know, however you feel, in politics, all that stuff. Just that's why I enjoyed about this. They hit on some things, and it was nice to see them kind of be serious and really hammer home, like, we are still all people, and none of us are perfect. We all make mistakes. But I just enjoyed this. The only thing I hated it was, and well, I'll get to it in a minute. I liked Swerve Scott coming out, and I liked the promo he cut. He's the heel, and I like that he didn't really attack what he did, but the way he did it was great. I thought this was one of Swerve's best promos. Challenging Billy Gunn for next week. I enjoyed that part. But Smart Mark Sterling coming out just felt so ham-fisted and just, it's not enough. We got to throw this in there. And then he just gets beat up, and then it's so stupid. He's trying to get a claim to work with him. It's like, stop. All we needed was Swerve come out, challenge Billy Gunn. Now we got a match for next week, and they could have had it the way all of that went together was fine. Smart Mark Sterling coming out just ruined it. They need to get people to learn how to produce TV. Too many run-ins, too many interruptions. It's annoying as fuck. But other than that, I enjoyed this segment. This was fun, and the people went nuts for it. Hangman Adam Page versus Roosh. Roosh kind of reminds me of a young Juventud Guerrero. Just aesthetically, he doesn't move like Juventud. Juvi was Juvi's a legend. I thought that this was a pretty good match for Dynamite. I don't know what purpose it served. You know what hurt this show a lot? Their timing of commercials, the commercial breaks, the picture-in-picture. I get why they do the picture-in-picture, but you really, it's they're not really doing much. You know them. There's not going to be a decision during that time. So it's just like, okay, they're going to do like how WWE would do. They would, let the ref know. Hey, let the guys know. It's commercial break. Just carry the match on. It's just, I don't know. So many matches had commercial breaks. Picture in picture. It's not the same. Also, side note, still no JR. Um, Paige wins with the buckshot lariat, beating Roosh. Um, like I said, it was a pretty good match for Dynamite, but not the best. I mean, um, and again, there's not really a story between these two, really. But post match, we get Private Party coming out, and as soon as they get to the top of the ring, John Moxley shows up, and then we get a promo between promo segment between Moxley and Paige. I enjoyed this. I thought that Moxley speaking from the heart yet again, and not just putting himself over, putting Hangman over as his opponent. And 13 days per Moxley in Cincinnati, they're gonna go 1-on-1. I mean, I think it's for the championship, so that'll be interesting to see. Look forward to it, and yeah. Luchasaurus versus Fuego del Sol for reasons, I guess. They gotta have him do something. I do like the entrance as kind of a homage to Kane. The match was like 10 seconds. It was just a way for Luchasaurus. I mean, Luchasaurus to get over and have Jungle Boy come out and attack him with steel chair. Jungle Boy cut a pretty decent promo. And so next week it's gonna be Jungle Boy versus Luchasaurus in Toronto, Christian's hometown. So there you go. And then the main event, Bryan Danielson and Daniel Garcia versus Chris Jericho and that idiot Sammy Guevara. So it's the first thing I can tell you is that the crowd hijacked the match. They were chanting "fuck you, Sammy" the whole time. Anytime Sammy got offense, even if it was cool, they would say "you still suck," and that took away from this match. It took away from the meaning of this match, and I kept thinking the whole time they gotta put. I mean, at the very least, you got this man on TV after what he did. At least put the baby faces over to send some type of message. No, it wasn't clean. Chris Jericho using the Ring of Honor Championship, hitting Garcia. I mean, you heard that shot too. It was loud. Hitting Garcia in the head, Sammy getting the pin to win. Sammy getting the pin. So again, what message are you sending? Just you can do whatever you want to do and just go on about your business. Match was okay. Again, hijacked by all the current events going around, circling around AEW right now. The inmates are trying to run the asylum, and the biggest inmate of them all is Tony Khan. The biggest damn clown in that show, in that circus. But that was Dynamite. Hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought. Thank you all for hitting that like button, subscribing, seeing the numbers go up, share. Hit us up on Twitter, podcast_third. Instagram, Third Generation Wrestling Podcast. More active on Twitter lately. I tend to tweet along with the shows. And if you can hit us up, shoot us an email for your comments, questions, suggestions, recommendations, and requests. thirdgenwrestling@gmail.com. Hit us up on TikTok, Third Generation Wrestling Pod. I'm going to make a video for this, but Patreon is active. Just search Third Generation Wrestling on Patreon. As of right now, memberships are $1. Just $1. And I'm gonna be posting content, more content as I have time to make some for you all. But yes, there will be exclusive videos on Patreon that will not be on YouTube. Most likely, YouTube will get a preview, a sample of the content on Patreon, so you know what's on there. But yeah, Patreon will be getting exclusive content. And what else? So tomorrow night we'll be doing our predictions for Extreme Rules, and then Saturday night will be the Extreme Rules post show. And that's what we got coming up. That's what we got going on. I say thank y'all again. Robbie Ambassador will be with me tomorrow and Saturday night for the Extreme Rules weekend ahead. So